You've spent 15 years learning to read the forest like a language. But tonight, the woods are speaking in tongues. The birds are calling at the wrong hours. The wind is defying the pressure systems. And for the first time in your life, you have to say the 3 words you hate most. I don't know. Welcome to Fable's Adventures. I'm your host, and today's narrative, The Edge of Knowing, is a psychological thriller for our 16-plus audience. It's a story about River, a scout whose survival and the safety of everyone they love depends on being right. But what happens when your greatest instinct starts to look like a breakdown? If you've ever felt the crushing weight of being the reliable one, this story is for you. Please subscribe to join the station. The fluorescent lights are flickering. Let's go outside.
The quiet breaks. You stand at the edge of the research station's back deck, and the forest is doing something wrong. It's not the absence of sound anymore, that you could read, that you've always read like a language written in negatives. The quiet is supposed to mean watchfulness. Predators alert, prey holding still, a conversation conducted in held breath, and the slight shift of a branch. You've spent 15 years learning to listen to it, to feel the forest's pulse slow and settle into that particular frequency where everything becomes possible. But tonight, the quiet is stuttering. A thrush calls from the eastern pines, should be roosting by now. The wind shifts 3 times in 5 minutes, each direction contradicting the last. The undergrowth rustles at ground level, which means either a fox, unlikely at this hour, or something larger trying to be quiet and failing. Your skin prickles. The hairs on your forearm stand at attention, and you realize you've been holding your breath so long your lungs ache. This is the moment you're supposed to know. What comes next? You don't. River? Marcus appears in the sliding glass door behind you, backlit by the station's fluorescent hum. You're going to catch pneumonia doing your statue impression out there. He's joking. Marcus always jokes when he's anxious, a nervous habit that used to charm you before you realized it was just another kind of lying. You don't turn around. The forest is wrong, you say. It's a forest. It's allowed to be weird. But Marcus doesn't understand. Marcus is here to collect data on migratory patterns, birds mostly, clean variables, countable things. He doesn't understand that a forest talks, that if you've spent enough time listening, you can feel its breath change, can sense the moment a system tips from stable to unstable. You can taste it on your tongue like copper. Something's coming, you say. A storm. I don't know. You hate those words in your mouth. I don't know. You've built your entire existence on the architecture of knowing, reading weather systems in the behavior of insects, predicting rock slides by the sound of settling earth, feeling danger the way some people feel temperature. People trust you because you know. That's the bargain you've made with yourself, with them. Competence in exchange for the luxury of not being alone. Now the forest is speaking in tongues. Marcus comes outside, closes the door behind him. The fluorescent light cuts off like a guillotine blade. He's wearing that thin windbreaker that won't help him if things go sideways, and you feel the familiar knot tighten behind your ribs, that horrible mix of responsibility and resentment. He's here. Because you invited him. The 3 others inside, Sarah, Jin, Dr. Paulson, are here because you vouched for the research opportunity, assured them the station was secure, that you'd keep them safe. You're very good at keeping people safe, as long as the forest keeps its side of the bargain. When was the last time you actually slept? Marcus asks. 3 days. Jesus, River. Sleep is a luxury we might not be able to afford if what? If the forest has an opinion about your mental health? He's not joking now. There's an edge to it, something that sounds almost like pity. You're spiraling. I've seen you spiral before, and it starts exactly like this. You get hypervigilant. You start seeing patterns that aren't there, but they are there. You turn to look at him, and in the dim light, his face is a cracked mirror. Familiar features fragmented and reassembled slightly wrong. You've known Marcus for 7 years. You've pulled him out of a flash flood and talked him down from a panic attack at 8,000 feet. You've shared a tent through 3 thunderstorms and countless nights where the only thing keeping him sane was your steady voice in the darkness. Do you remember the Cascade Run? You ask quietly. His jaw tightens. That's not. You wanted to push through to the next ridge before dark. Do you remember what I felt? He does. He doesn't answer, but his silence is an affirmation. You'd felt it then too, that specific tremor in the air, a wrongness that didn't announce itself with thunder or wind. You'd insisted they shelter early, and 6 hours later, a mudslide came down the exact route you would have taken. He'd called you a genius for a week afterward. That's different, he says now. You had data. Weather reports said. The weather reports were wrong. The forest knew. Or you got lucky. The words land exactly where he means them to. You feel them settle into the soft places under your ribs, and you're too tired to defend against them. Tired of defending. Tired of being the person everyone needs you to be. The one who has to be right, who can't afford the luxury of doubt, because doubt means abandonment. Doubt means standing alone in a dark forest, and you've already spent enough nights doing that. You turn back to the tree line. I think something's in the perimeter, you say flatly. Something large. The deer should be moving, but they're not. The birds know. That's why they're calling wrong. And the wind, you pause, listening. The wind keeps coming from the north, but there's a pressure system that says it shouldn't, and I can't reconcile the two, which means either I'm wrong about the pressure, or the wind isn't natural wind, or I'm just, you stop, or you're just human, Marcus finishes quietly. There it is. The thing neither of you has been saying. The thing you've been running from since you were 20 years old and realized that being good at reading the wild was infinitely easier than being good at reading people, at sitting with uncertainty, at admitting that sometimes the compass spins and there's no map for that. Come inside, Marcus says. We'll check the motion sensors. We'll do a perimeter walk at first light. We'll know by morning. But you won't, because the forest isn't giving you answers anymore, and without those answers, you're just another person standing in the dark, guessing. You do go inside eventually. You help Marcus review the motion sensor footage. Nothing, just deer and a raccoon, the ordinary predators of evening. You sit with Sarah while she finishes cataloging the lichen samples. You don't mention your hands are shaking. You don't mention that the fluorescent lights feel like they're pressing down on your skull, that every small sound from outside is a test you're failing. At 11 p.m., you excuse yourself and go back out. The forest has settled into a different kind of quiet now, the one that comes after the watching is done. You stand in the dark between the station and the tree line, that thin margin where civilization still claims dominion. Your phone has a flashlight. You don't use it. The thrush calls again. Eastern pines same as before, but now it's joined by another, further south, lower register. Not a thrush. A barn owl, maybe. Hunting. That's normal. That's good. The wind comes from the east now, warm and carrying the smell of rain coming from tomorrow. That makes sense. That fits the pressure system you felt earlier. Your shoulders drop a fraction of an inch. Maybe Marcus is right. Maybe you've just been awake too long, seeing fractures in the ordinary world because you're too exhausted to see it clearly. Maybe the forest is fine, and you're the one that's broken. That might be worse, actually. You hear the door open behind you and don't turn. It's probably Marcus again, coming to make sure you're not doing anything drastic. You're not. You're just standing here, listening to the forest, remember how to speak clearly again, and trying to figure out what it means when your greatest strength starts to sound an awful lot like your greatest weakness. The thrush calls, the owl answers. The wind moves through the trees with purpose and direction, and for just a moment, you let yourself believe in the possibility of knowing nothing. It's almost peaceful. River, Dr. Paulson's voice, older and cautious. Come inside, please. You nod, though she can't see it. You'll go inside. You'll sit with them. You'll wait for morning, when the sensors will tell you whether the forest was dangerous, or if you were just terrified of your own fallibility, of discovering that loyalty and instinct might not be enough to keep anyone safe, that sometimes standing alone is exactly where you end up, no matter how hard you fight against it. The quiet breaks into scattered birdsong, and you follow Dr. Paulson through the door, leaving the unanswered questions behind like footprints in the dark. They'll still be there in the morning.
River went back inside, but the silence they left behind on the deck wasn't a resolution. It was a truce. There is a specific kind of loneliness that comes with being the expert, the one who isn't allowed to be human, because everyone else is using your certainty as a shield. I have a question for you. When your gut feeling contradicts everything the data is telling you, which one do you trust? Have you ever been the only person who felt the wrongness in a room? Let's discuss the weight of intuition in the comments below. If River's struggle with fallibility hit home, please like and subscribe. For more atmospheric psychological dramas, check out the Fables Adventures app. Until tomorrow, trust your senses, but don't forget to breathe.